3, 2, 1. Yo, what's up, guys? So, I just finished third place at YCS Richmond with Sinful Spoils Infernoble. So, before I start, huge shouts to Team 7x1 for sponsoring me and flying me out to Richmond. You can go to txx1.com and use Pack 10 for 10% off. You can use these Supreme Pros. They're currently sold out, but they'll be back in stock soon. So I think he's going to try to come out with like pink ones too. So definitely be on the lookout for those. I know y'all love like the pink PCs and all that good stuff. So definitely be on the lookout for the other variations, other colors as well. Also, huge shouts to, I guess, my main testing partners, Walter and Jib. Arnold does not count because he literally did nothing. Shout out to Arnold. And also Gunther. I would say those three, even though Gunther didn't play the YCS, he also really helped. But those three were, I would say, like the most impactful in terms of like helping me figure out the deck, the ratios. And then also huge shout out to my coach. His name is Gianfranco. And he also has a YouTube channel as well. He's like a one-trick Infernoble god, and he's been playing the deck for like the last 3 years. So I actually hired him for this event and asked him to like coach me in terms of like some of the different lines that I like that aren't really like that are not publicly available. As well as to maybe just also help me fix out my deck a little bit. Like he was the reason why I added Magus to my deck, and that card like carried me crazy. So, and then shout out to also my people, my locals. We got Wilson and Justice. Those two guys like let me QCR museums last minute to get my deck fully hollowed out. So, love y'all, man. And then yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let's get into the deck profile. Oh wait, sorry, one last thing. Also, huge shout out to Gamer's Choice. James, you're insane. All right, anyways, let's do this. So, best normal summon in the deck, Connector, and my boy Dolphin. I think this was, like, the best normal summon. I think we thought about playing, like, triple Ogier, but this card is just too crazy. This card looking at your hand is insane. When you open, like, Dolphin or access to Dolphin through Connector with, like, the Sinful Spoils package or, like, Fenrir, you're able to, like, loop 2 cards out of your opponent's hand and then end on the full board. And I use this card to, like, see if my opponent has Nib or not to, like, play around it. And so this card is really good. So not much to say about that. And then for the Fire Warrior monsters, we played 1 Turpin, 1 Renaud, 1 Red Lair, 1 Fireflame, 1 Oliver, 1 Ogier, 1 Magus, and then 1 Ricardetto. And of course the honorary one, Gearfried. So I think they were all pretty standard. We originally weren't on Magus, but we decided to like play it last minute because it gave us more level 4 Fire Warriors that worked really well with the Sinful Spoils package. Redlair was the MVP. A lot of lists did not play this card, and this card has won me so many games. With Museum, this card goes up to 2500, which lets you beat over Fenrir. It lets you beat over Low Knight as well, which is really important. This card has won me probably about like 4 matches by itself. Absolutely insane. And then Renaud, Fireflame, Ricardetto, and then Gearfried. Not much to say about this. This card is probably the best card against Low Knight when you have nothing on the field and they only have Low Knight by itself, because this card just takes the Low Knight and damage step and your opponent can't chain Low Knight. So that interaction comes up. But yeah, I think Magus is the MVP because it makes your Low Knight unable to be destroyed by battle. And in the grind game, your opponent can't swing over it, which came up for me a couple times. And when you do use the Low Knight to like tag out, you can like get Magus to like draw you more cards, and you should like win the mid-range game with that. So those are all the Fire Warriors. And then for the Sinful Spoils package, we played 1 Diablo Star, 3 Wanted, and then 1 original Snake Eye. It makes sense to play this package because we play a lot of hand traps in the main deck. So this card like helps you like filter out bad cards because it basically is a mulligan because you have to dump a card out of your hand to like summon the Dark Witch, and then when you play the original, you can like use the Wanted card to like draw you a new card. So that helps fix you hands, and also it makes Durendo a lot better because typically the issue is that sometimes Durendo can't just search you a normal summon, but the Diablo Star allows you to use Durendo to search a normal summon, which is really nice. But yeah, there's 3 level 1s. There's 3 targets. It's Renaud, Ricardetto, and Fireflame. But this package lets you like beat Nib. I would get like Imprim, Nib, Ash, and like I would win because I had these cards in my deck, which is crazy. So just really, really strong. And then for I guess the rest of the engine card, 1 Rhoda, God card, 1 Terraforming, which I've been on this since Infernoble first came out. Like I remember I took a first look at it at my locals, and Gunther put me on for this one. He was like, play Terraforming because Museum is so broken, and so yeah, play 3 My Friend Pearly. So but basically this card is like the most insane card in the grind game because basically the way we built this deck is that post side we have like 18 hand traps, and this card wins you like the grind game. And the reason why you have to play Magus is because like you can run out of equips to search, but Magus keeps like shuffling them back so they can keep searching. And then yeah, this card is absurd. Also, the fact that it boosts all your Fire Warriors is insane because when your opponent ends on Low Knight, because I honestly think it's like a Low Knight format, you would play Museum and then normal summon any warrior monster in your deck, like all like, you know, Turpin, Ogier, all of them, right? And then they would go up to like over like 1600 attack. Like go to like 2000 attack, 1900 attack, and they'll be over Low Knight, not giving Low Knight the chance to activate, which is insane. And going second, this is a 1-card combo because it can send Turpin, and then you can equip Turpin and then summon it back off Museum. So absolutely insane. And then 3 Heritage, which searches you more Museums, or it can search you a normal summon. You can also add back from Grave to like play around Droll. I had a game where I got Drolled, and then I would like go Assaulting Mill 4 summon Ogier, then use Heritage to add the Durendal from my graveyard, then equip Durendal, and then linked it off and use Durendal's effect to like Reborn a card, which is insane as well. So this card was the nuts. And then we only played 2 Durendal and 1 Elmaze. A lot of people played 3 Durendal, but we realized that this card is a lot worse. Mainly because like you don't actually want to open this card, you want to open Museum. And so we cut this card down to like 2, just like fit space in the deck. And yeah, 1 Almace because it's basically a better Joyce. Oh, Joyce also comes up, but we didn't think it would come up enough to warrant the 1 slot in the main deck. But that card can definitely come up too. For the rest of the equips, DDR, Divine Sword, and then Angelica's Ring. This card is the reason why the deck is so broken right now. Not much to say. For the non-engine slot, we played 12 hand trips in the main, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Droll, and then 3 Imperm. I think hand trips are really good right now. I think this deck, a lot of people say, have some struggle going second. But I think if you can make your opponent transition to like a half board because of all the hand trips we play, the Inferno deck is really strong at pushing through half boards. So like we wanted to play the grind game with our opponents, and then forcing them into like the mid-range game with like these hand traps, because even though the Inferno deck is a combo deck going first, like going second, it honestly, when you like get into these hand trap boards, it really boils down to like a slugfest between like who can like get the most value. And the Inferno deck with cards like Museum, like just like outpaces a lot, and so that's why like I really think hand traps are really, really strong in this deck. Because I think the board breaker issue is that like when you let your opponent set up a full board, it's just really hard to like, you can break their board, but I don't think you can ever beat their recovery. So I just want to like cut them, and then just like cut them where it hurts, and then like ensure that we play a grind game without them having to like loop their resources and all that good stuff. So for the extra deck, we played 2 Isolde. This card should probably get banned. One of my losses in Swiss was literally to this card against the Mechanico. Just got FTK'd by it. 2 Little Knight. A lot of people only play 1 and played the other second copy. They played Ferocious. But Ferocious is unplayable. This card is just like way better. I've summoned the second Low Knight like so many times. It's just actually, this card's so buzz. I wish if we had a 20 card extra, I'd probably play 3. 2 Emperor Charles the Great. Busted. Not once per turn. This card by itself is 3 interruptions with Angelica's Ring. 1 Anima. We almost played Karibo, but then Walter convinced us to play Anima last minute, and Anima was insane. I definitely liked it a lot because we signed Nibiru, and so like you can convert any of your level 1s into Anima to take their Nib token and then make Low Knight to answer another card. So it's like 2-for-1s half the time. And everyone plays into it against Infernobles because they never expect you to have Anima. So like they just summon like random zones and just like take it for free. Link Spider, this card was also the MVP. Basically like we threaten Appaloosa. And which is what I also play. And then if your opponent does nib you and know you play Appaloosa, then you have a token. But the issue is that you can't activate Original to send a token to the graveyard to summon. So we needed to play Link Spider so that if we get nib, we can make Link Spider and activate Original to send the Link Spider to the graveyard to keep playing. And yeah, this card came up. This card came up for me super, like I think like 4 or 5 matches. Like this card was insane because everyone just had nib in their deck. So, and then Appaloosa was just the MVP. Basically like. A lot of like the combo lines lets you like make Appaloosa, but if people didn't know you play this card, which a lot of people wouldn't expect you to play it in like a warrior deck, it's absolutely insane because you just summon and just get a free Appaloosa. Like in my top 4 match, my opponent didn't know I played Appaloosa. I summoned it, and my opponent was like starstruck because then he had nib in his hand. He like just wasted a nib, and I just go Appaloosa negate, and so I had 2 more negates on it for free, pretty much. So it was insane. And then we played the OG Charles. Baron, this card's insane. It won me my matchup against Labyrinth because against that matchup, I just played super mid-range with like Charles control with Baron. Angelica, you only need 1 if you know the optimized combo. I know like OG or Museum, a lot of people like right now in the spreadsheet play 2 Angelica, but if you know the combo, it's only 1. And then 1 Roland. I've hard made him like once. Actually came up. It's kind of nice. And then 1 Battling Boxer Dempsey. This card lets you do the 1-card combo. Or technically the 2 card if you get hand trapped on a connector. So this card's insane. And then we play 1 Typhon. This card won me. It only came up in 1 match for me, but it won me that match. So it was honestly good enough that I had it. This card is really crazy. Like I said, when you hand trap your opponent and get into like that grind game, you really want cards like Typhon because it's like a really big body and outvalue your opponent. So it also doesn't target, which I found that out. Shout out to Joey. Apparently it outs like Borderland, which is like kind of absurd. But yeah, and I played like 2 Dragon Links and Swiss back to back. So yeah. Anyways, for the side deck we played Yeep plus 3 Crossout. So basically when we go first, we turn Crossout into, so Crossout going first is obviously broken. So like, because it pairs well with like cards like, because we have like a lot of hand trap process, so like 3 Nib and then 3 Crow. But the thing is, we also wanted to fit space for Pearly, but in order to do that, what we did was we put in a Yeep so that when we go second, we turn Crossout into basically a Book of Eclipse, because like it basically answers like a Book of Eclipse that doesn't lose to Ash. Because now, like, going second, we can cross out their Yeep. And it came up for me in one of my Pearly matchups when my opponent was like, yo, no freaking way you have Yeep in your deck. I'm like, yeah, cross out Yeep, GG's. So, yeah, shout out to Walter for that. He came up with that idea. That was insane.
You can put in Crow, too.
Yeah, and then obviously, like, we sided in, like, so basically we have 12 hand traps in the main deck, and we have 6 more hand traps that were the most generic across, like, every matchup. Like, Crow was, like, insane to Tournament, Unchained, Pearly. Nib was insane into like the Unchained matchup, into the Tillerman matchup, because they're all playing Horus cards now, so like Nib just goes crazy on them. So yeah, these cards are insane. And the other thing we also played was obviously like the 1 call by to like supplement the Crossout. One of the games I actually bricked on call by. Like I went first and I go wanted in main phase. I get drolled, and then call by won me that game because I drew the call by. My opponent went like Sacred Effect. I call by'd it, and then that like he just passed back to me, and that was enough for me to win. So that was crazy. And then the last 4 cards in the extra deck, or the side slot, which I think was actually genius. And it kind of like fits in with the theme of the deck, which is we sided the Fenrir package. And it feels really weird. Like, why would you not like main deck this engine? But basically, this was both a going first and going second card for us. Because going first, Fenrir plus Wanted is like full combo through Nibiru. Or any one hand trap, including Imper and blah, 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 blah. So it was a really crazy going first card because it helps. It's an engine card. And even in my 3rd, 4th playoff for the prize card, I think I got shifted. And I ended on Fenrir Low Knight, and that was enough to just win the game, which was crazy. So Fenrir was just absurd. Like, it's a card that helps you play under, like, you know, relatively play under Shifter, which we thought about playing with Guska too, but the scenario doesn't come up enough. And then Razor can make big Guska, blah, 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 blah. But this card was good. And then going second, the reason why this card is so busted is because when you have like 18 hand traps and like you're hand trapping your opponent to death, you and your opponent are both fighting for resources. So you need like cards like Fenrir, which like wins those like to like get tempo. And Fenrir is like insane at getting you that tempo, because when you hand trap your opponent to death, what they usually end on is like literally Little Knight. So like you have like 1 red layer, Fenrir, you slam it down, attack, search a card main phase 2. And then, like, all of your stun, then your opponent's, like, super behind because Fenrir not only outed their card, but it also is an interruption on their card, and it searches a card, so it's, like, a +3. So that card was just, like, insane. I sided almost every single time going second, which is crazy because it begs the question why maybe I should have maybe mained it. But I really wanted 12 hand traps in my main it because I only won 3 dice rolls in Swiss, so I was going second the majority of the time, so the hand traps were really carrying me. And in top cut, like I think I only won 2 dice rolls as well. I think 32 and 16. Then I lost the dice roll in 4, 8. Yeah, in top 4 and in top 8. Yeah. So, but yeah. So this card was really good. I'm glad I sided instead of Mania because, like I said, I lose most of my dice rolls and going second. It's just not good enough. It's only good when you pair with multiples of hand traps. Like we found out in testing that Fenrir was insane when you pair it with like 2 other hand traps to stop your opponent, because that's when Fenrir really shines. But if you hand trap your opponent once and summon Fenrir, it's definitely not the same impact. But yeah, so that's pretty much the deck profile. Shout out to cameraman Joey as well for helping film this. And shout out to Wolf, Bozos, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in Weiss's Italy. Peace.